Good morning, millennials.
Welcome back to The Toast and happy hump day. That for the Jewish queens in this room and globally feels really like a Friday because today, very sadly, is the last show of the week, but very happily because we are celebrating Rosh Hashanah.
It's the beginning of the Jewish New Year. The festivities commence this evening. So I'm very excited for the Chag, as we call it.
I am too. And you know, it's such an important time of year for our community. And you know, you're really supposed to use this time to make amends and go into the new year with fresh starts. So just want to put out there, anybody I've had beef with like this year, I forgive you for wronging me.
And get over it.
Don't sweat it. Like, I forgive you. Don't worry.
Yeah, I love that. Any apologies I want to issue this year?
Yeah, sorry for slaying so hard, at being so glamorous.
Sorry for making it so hard for all of you. Sorry for ending it for all of you.
I got it.
Like, I'm
sorry.
apologetic.
I'm really sorry for making it so difficult for you guys to dislike me. That must be annoying. Like, I'm charismatic, I'm gorgeous, I'm perfect. Like, that's tough, and I really do apologize for that.
Do you think you'll try and do better in the new year in terms of making it easier for people?
I mean, of course, you always want to enter the new year, like, hoping to do better, but we all know those resolutions flop after a couple of weeks.
You are who you are.
Essentially.
And I'm sorry to everyone who was sleeping on Sabrina Carpenter for so long. Like, now you're awake, and I'm happy that you're here.
Is there any grievances that you have with me that you want to sort of flesh out before we enter this new season of our year?
No. I hadn't thought about it on its face, no. No, nothing comes to mind, so really it couldn't be. If I have to think that long, then no, nothing's
so true.
Nothing's there. What about you?
Well, where do I begin? I hate you for being so perfect, and I wish you would do better.
At being perfect or being less perfect? It's a little
being
confusing.
Less perfect. It's intimidating. You're setting like an unrealistic standard for women in the media and podcasting landscape.
Okay.
So if you could stop, that would be great. That's pretty much it.
Okay.
It's kind of a big one.
Yeah. No, I think at a certain age, like, you should, every year there should be like less and less for you to want to do better on. I do feel like every year we do talk about, I think our one cardinal sin in this life is the Lashon Hara.
Gossip, yeah.
And we're working on it.
We're not, actually. I feel that we need to redefine what gossip is, because I actually really believe this. I know I sound crazy delusional. I believe like we have a misunderstanding as a society of what gossip is, because I think that a lot of people consider like just exchanging information, like, oh, I hear blank is breaking up. Like, that's not gossip. That's an
not
exchange
what I'm
of information.
talking about. Like, I know, and I feel like on this show, like, really we're sharing information. It's when the judgment kicks in, and I know, like, sometimes I'm sending a text to you or like to the sisters, and like, I'm just like, this is so mean.
Yeah, no, I mean, we've all been there.
Those moments. But what? I shouldn't bring my sister's laughs?
No, I know. And we've all been there where like we like either delete the text or we send it in vanish mode because it's just kind of like too real.
It's so crazy. And sometimes you don't even need to say anything. You just like send a screenshot and it's enough said.
Yeah, it's just kind of like a subliminal Lashon Hara.
It's enough said, but does that count too?
The thing is, if God didn't want us speaking Lashon Hara, he wouldn't make people so weird. Like, honestly.
I agree.
Like, sorry, it's just facts. I love that they were talking about Lashon Hara in the Netflix show, Nobody Wants This, and it was so real. Like, listen, I'm a person, you know, I'm really trying my best.
Kim Kardashian was wearing a bracelet that said, like, Lashon Hara. She deleted it because it was in Hebrew, and I'm sure she got a lot of hate because that's like a normal thing to do these days. And it really got me like thinking like, oh, Kim is now coming at me about my Lashon Hara.
Oh, please. I just know her and the swirlies. Like, they probably say the nastiest shit about each other. Please. Listen, we are just human beings. We are just little girls. Like, we are just trying.
Yeah, we are. And in the spirit of our Judaism, we need to send love to Israel. That was under attack yesterday. Iran sent hundreds of missiles into Israel. You might have not heard about it because people aren't talking about it because they don't care when Jews are killed. And that's just a fun fact about our world.
We're also coming up on like the 1 year anniversary of October 7th. And with the Jewish holidays, it's just feeling like a very fragile time.
It is. There was also a terrorist attack in Tel Aviv. 6 people were shot dead on the rail. And it was just a really scary day in Israel. So when Israel does defend itself and retaliate, make sure you stay quiet. Make sure you don't pipe in then.
Oh my God, wait. Speaking of politics, did you happen to watch the vice presidential debate last night?
I went out of my way not to.
Okay, let me tell you.
I caught some clips on the gram, but like, no, I did not. I was not sat for it.
Okay, so I actually thought it was Monday last night, and I got into bed like so excited to watch Monday Night Football, and then I realized like, oh, there's not anything to watch. But then I'm like, oh well, everyone's gonna be watching. You know, I love to watch something that everyone's watching. So I did turn on the debate, and they're lauding it as like Battle of the Midwestern Dads. Like they're both from the Midwest and they're both like really just like nice. And the whole time they were just like, that's a great point. No, you really, that's a great point. And it was, you know, the new rules of like, there's no crowd and they turn the mics off to like make it civilized. Like boring. Yeah. I was so bored. Like I was ready for a knockdown drag out. Like and like, it's nice to like hear people talk, but like from an entertainment perspective, I actually did turn it off halfway through. Cause like, it was just like, it's too civilized.
No, I was not interested whatsoever.
I feel like a vice presidential debate, like it's they're doing it for clicks, like for ratings. Like no one really cares, you know?
It's a nice idea in theory, and I feel like we've gotten to a place in our country where things are so divisive that it's like, really, what's the point of a debate? Like you guys we're not arguing the finer points. Like you couldn't be more different. Like nothing's going to be like cleared up here. But the idea of a debate, like your two presidents and your two vice presidents, even also like it's a great idea.
It's a great, you know, a core tenet, if you will, of American politics.
Yeah,
right?
Of a functioning democracy. So I'm pro debates in general. Just they've really gotten to a dark place, and it's not how I want to spend my evening.
No, I did like when there used to be crowds. Like it was like WWE.
Yeah, but
like,
without
you know?
that, it's like a show trial.
Yeah, and I just like, I don't know, I wasn't feeling it, but I'm happy for everyone, and I'm happy for people in the Midwest.
Were people feeling it?
Yeah, no, I think a lot of people are like loving this Midwestern energy that was on display, and I think they made Midwest proud. You know, Minneapolis and Ohio. I think like they both felt proud. So I'm happy for them.
Okay.
That's happy great. For David Muir, mm-hmm. the ABC News guy. He takes himself so seriously, and he is also in the back of Taxi TV. He does like a little like breaking news, little something, and you just know he loves his job. Like he loves getting dressed up. I think he loves like putting glam on, and like he gets his hair. He loves being a star, and that was radiating. Because I also watched like, I thought it was on at 8 and it was on at 9, so they did like this dreadful, very like E-News pre-show to the pre-show. Yeah. And it was just like really like analytical. But I just knew he was loving. He's like, everyone's watching me in the country, and like it was giving Elle Woods me.
Yeah. Did he do the presidential debate? Was that him?
Yeah. But he didn't actually do the debate. It was two swirlies.
Yeah, but it was still the same network, right?
And yeah, it's like his show. He does the evening news on ABC. It's like, it's his territory and everyone's coming. Like he knew the opportunity was coming, and he took it. Like he dressed, like he knew the vibes.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's what I did last night. And then I also watched Gilmore Girls, Get You a Girl Who Can Do Both. And I have something to say about Gilmore Girls, if you'll let me.
The floor is yours, Slattert.
So when I watched the show, everybody was like, oh my God, you're going to hate Rory. You're going to hate Rory. And like I do, for sure. I do feel like my dislike of her has been influenced by people being like, you're going to hate Rory. And I want to know, where's the energy for hating Lorelai? Like, I'm now at a place where Lorelai is clearly the worst character on the show. Not only is she like so annoying, like her and some other guy in the show are clearly OTP, and she's like, we're just friends.
The
like,
diner guy?
Grow the fuck up. You're 33. You can't identify in an emotion. Like, it's frustrating as hell. And then in this most recent episode, like her house was filled with termites. The entire foundation of her house was compromised. Like she needed $15,000. Now she's a single mom, and obviously that was like not in the cards for her. She comes from like an incredibly wealthy family that she hates, right? You know, like, oh no.
Right.
And so at dinner with her grandparents, Rory brought up the fact that they have termites and like this $15,000 bill that's been plaguing them. And Rory brought it up because she knows Gran literally has servants. Like, Gran can afford it. Oh man, and Rory got in so much trouble from Lorelai. Like, why did you bring it up? Because the grandparents were obviously like, let us help you. They like literally ran to the checkbook. Oh man, she had such a fucking chip on her shoulders. No, she wanted to get a loan. She couldn't get a loan because
her daughter should live with termites rather than asking her parents, who are, I don't know the dynamics of the show, but they're fine enough to have dinner with them, but you can't get your daughter out of a termite infested home.
So what she ended up doing was she tried to get a loan. She was denied because she wasn't an eligible candidate. But then her mom made a call to her special banker, and was able to get her a loan only if her grandmother co-signed it. So it's like, why don't you just take the money from your mom because you ended up getting a loan that you could only get because of her?
And like the moral of the story is like, this is admirable behavior.
Like I guess she's too proud.
Doing it for themselves. Like
she's too proud.
I'm not admiring.
No, she's really pissing me off. And yeah, like I have some other thoughts, but I feel like they're kind of mean. I just like I'm not liking Lorelai.
Is it less shown horror if it's fictional characters? No.
Okay, here's what I'll say. Like the whole thing is that like her and Rory like came up in this life together. They are so tight. It's actually really cute. She had her when she was 16. So in the show now, Lorelai's like 32 and she has a 16-year-old, and they're like super
sisters.
close in age. They're like sisters. And Lorelai like every now and then is like a hard ass, you know, strict mom, but for the most part she really trusts Rory, and they like stay up all night watching movies and eating candy, and like every morning they're having like gallons of coffee for breakfast and Pop-Tarts. And like she just like I'm like, go to the grocery store, like make your kid breakfast, like, and she's like never at work. So I don't know. It's just like, it's like funny and cute, but like at what point is it neglect?
Yeah.
Those are my thoughts. So yeah, Lorelai's pissing me off. I don't hear enough, like, and everyone is in agreement. Like the grandparents, Richard and Emily, king and queen of the, like carrying the show. Lorelai's pissing me off. Like, admit you like that guy. Don't be so proud. Like, it's nice. Some people would kill for wealthy grandparents. Okay, do you know how many single moms would kill to have their kids' tuition paid for?
Right.
And you have such a gifted kid. Like, there are some single moms who have the most fucking annoying, bad-behaved kids. Rory is, like, literally better behaved than anyone in the show. Like, I don't know. She really pisses me off.
Well, I'm sorry for that for you.
It's okay.
But I'm glad you're enjoying the show otherwise.
Yeah. What are you watching?
I am not watching anything currently because I have been reading. We just finished The Redheads and we were recording. So, like, once I finished The Redheads book, it made me realize that I want to read more. So I started a book by Carola Lovering because I realized,
which one?
Carola Lovering is for me. It's one of her old books. I don't know what it's called, but I was like, she did Tell Me Lies, which I didn't read, but I watched a show. And, like, the way that I love that show, I can't even tell you. We were talking about it on The Redheads because we were talking about how it's so Colgate coded. And then Bye Baby, which like was another book that just felt like so similar to like my life and my feelings and just like how we are as swirly. So I was like, I should read more Carola Lovering in my life. So I'm reading another book of hers that she wrote. Too Good to Be True, I think it's called.
After I read Bye Baby, was also like, I want to read another Carola Lovering book. And it really felt like the only book worth reading was Tell Me Lies, and I'm enjoying the show too much that like I don't want to spoil it.
If I had read Tell Me Lies, I would hate the show, which is just so unfortunate because I love the show so much. So you really can't like love a book and then watch the show. Look at Perfect Couple, because the people who didn't read Perfect Couple love it.
Yeah, that's true. Like I've never really liked a book and a show, you know, or a movie.
Yeah, not nearly as much. If I love the book, then the show ruined it. It's true. Except I think that didn't happen with Harry Potter for people.
Oh yeah, well, and I think Twilight as well.
But we didn't read Twilight. And Confessions of a Shopaholic, I can say the book A+, the movie A+++.
That's so funny. I forgot that was a book.
It's a series, and it's the best books ever. And we need another one, Sophie Kinsella.
Get to work.
She said she put out another book last year, The Burnout. Not my favorite. And I also feel like now she like felt like pressure to write smut because that's what sells.
The trends, yeah.
And I could like feel her like shoehorning it into the book, whereas otherwise like Sophie Kinsella like doesn't do like
that's interesting.
porny stuff. But I feel like her editor was like, this is what people want, make them have sex,
book
write
talk.
about it, and it just didn't feel right.
That is so interesting,
right? Wouldn't you imagine like if you are someone who writes romance or rom-com sort of books, like I'm sure your editor is like, people want sexiness, like put in a sex scene.
Yeah, you're 100% right about that.
And I don't think every romantic book needs a sex scene. Like make the choice for yourself. Artist integrity.
Whatever happened to artist integrity?
Artist rights, man.
Artist rights, man.
Artists' rights. Where would the apostrophe go there? I love that that's like becoming a viral thing of like people correcting people's misuse of apostrophes.
And I just want to say, like, you know me, I love the Oxford comma. The Oxford comma is my girl. I know a lot about the Oxford comma. When it comes to properly like possessive apostrophe, like I have no fucking idea.
Yeah, I'm not perfect either, and there are definitely some words that trip me up, but then I just like I rephrase the sentence so as to avoid the apostrophe.
I feel like the inventor of the English language like really could have done better when it came to like possessive multiples, right? Like the S apostrophe is some of the worst shit I've ever seen in my life. It's ugly. It's hard to say. It makes no sense. I don't like it.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of examples. It really could break my brain. So I like those little cards that are going around that it's like, it's the holidays, the Smiths, it's not apostrophe. Or like when people get married and they're like, congratulations to the Soffers, apostrophe S.
No, it's literally...
That one's pretty clear as day. Like,
of course, we don't own the congratulations. We are multiple of two people. That one I know.
Yeah. At a wedding, there need not be an apostrophe. Unless you're saying, like, the Soffers' wedding was beautiful.
It was beautiful. But yeah, I know what you mean.
Anyways, that's today's grammar lesson.
We have a good show today because we have stories. And how would you say that they are?
Basinka.
And we have Dear Toasters. The girlies already, and we didn't do it last week, so we were like, doubled over with submissions.
Double the deer, double the toast.
Double the struggle. The girlies are, as usual, deeply unwell, and we're here to help.
Cool, can't wait.
So, I mean, it's up to you, obviously. Like, you're the captain of this ship.
Without further ado, here are the Fast 5 stories that you need to know.
And the Fast 5 stories that you need to know are brought to you by Built Rewards. Listen up, renters. You ever feel like you're stuck in this loop of rent payments, just watching your money vanish into thin air? Well, it's time to turn that rent game around and start earning some serious rewards, and that's where Built Rewards comes in. Built is breaking ground as a neighborhood rewards program that hooks you up with points on your rent. Every month, pay your rent and watch the Built points roll in. I feel like for years, everyone's always said, like, if I could get points for my rent, like, I would be a points millionaire. Like, it's really feels sometimes, and I love renting, but it does feel like you're lighting money on fire, like you're getting nothing in return for it. And I love that Built Rewards was literally created to combat that. So you can use your Built points to jet off on a dream vacation. You can put your points towards a flight or a hotel stay with over 500 airlines and 700,000 hotel and property partners. You can also use your points to book fitness studio classes. You can redeem them towards a future rent payment. They're really designed to meet your lifestyle, and you can pay rent hassle-free through their Built Rewards app. Your rent game just got a major upgrade. Built points have been consistently ranked the highest value point currency by the Points Guy and Bankrate. You know we live and die by the Points Guy, so whatever he says is true. You can earn points by paying rent right now, only when you go to joinbuilt.com/toast. That's joinbilt.com/toast. Make sure to use our link so they know that we sent you. It's joinbuilt.com/toast, joinbuilt.com/TOAST to start earning points with your rent payments today. Today's episode is also brought to you by Prolon. These days, a lot of people are leaning in and learning all about the benefits of fasting, like weight loss, mental and physical performance, gut health. But of course, they worry about the whole not eating part of fasting. It's not, it's not for everyone. That's why Prolon was created. So Prolon is a revolutionary plant-based nutrition program that nourishes your body while making your cells believe that they're fasting. So it was researched and developed for decades at the University of Southern California Longevity Institute. It's backed by leading U.S. medical centers, and Prolon helps promote healthy blood sugar, supports your cardiovascular health, and reduces abdominal fat. Prolon is not a diet. It is science, and it's science based on Nobel Prize-winning discoveries in medicine. All of it starts with their 5-day program where you get snacks, soups, beverages, and they're all designed to keep your body in a fasting state. And it's really unlike anything you've ever experienced. I'm sure a lot of you guys know, like, fasting is kind of crazy, but it's really it, and there are a lot of benefits. And I like that Prolon is like going to basically trick your body into thinking they're fasting, but you're not going to, not eat or drink all day. They have snacks, soups. The 5-day program is really popular. Right now, Prolon is offering our listeners 15% off their 5-day nutrition program, but only when they go to prolonlife.com/toast. That's PROLON life.com/TOAST. After the 5-day program, you will feel so much better. It's really unlike any other diet you've tried because it's not a diet, it is science, and it is convenient. They send you everything that you need in just one box. So go to prolonlife.com/toast for the special offer. That's PROLONLIFE.com/TOAST. Today's episode is also brought to you by Cozy Earth. So Cozy Earth is not a new sponsor, but I would say, top tier, if you will, when it comes to cozy, when it comes to deliciousness. Jax and I are kind of experts, and they have the perfect products at Cozy Earth, whether it comes to pajama sets, sheet sets. You can indulge in unmatched comfort with their Cozy Earth bamboo sheet set. Sleeping on Cozy Earth sheets is like sleeping on a cloud. They are soft, and they get softer with every wash. It gets even better over time. They also have the women's bamboo pajama sets, which is a timeless classic perfected by Cozy Earth. Bedtime can't come soon enough, or for me, like I get my pajamas at 2 o'clock. When you're waiting to slip into Cozy Earth pajamas, they're crafted with soft stretch knit that feature enhanced breathability and a relaxed fit that you won't want to take off. Once you start buying products from Cozy Earth, like every time you need something that they sell, you will just go because they're so well made. They're so soft. Their product quality and durability are unmatched. Their bedding and bath products have a 10-year warranty. All bedding products come with a 100-night sleep trial, but you will fall in love after the first night. And if you go to cozyearth.com/toast and use our code TOAST, you will get an exclusive discount that's up to 40% off. And if you get a post-purchase survey, say that you heard about Cozy Earth from the podcast. So wrap yourself in luxury this fall with Cozy Earth. It is that time of year to like invest in the good stuff, the cozy pajamas, the cozy blankets and sheets. And Cozy Earth is like a one-stop shop. Cozy Earth is spelled COZY earth.com/thetoast. Our code is TOAST for an exclusive discount up to 40% off.
Thank you, Turt.
You're welcome.
CozyEarth.com/Turt. So today's a big day in the business of lists because the Time 100 most influential people list is out, as is the Time 100 next list. So like that's like up and comers, I guess. That's like where Sabrina Carpenter is.
What?
But she's not on the Time 100 influential people list. So we've got like 200
I don't think a second
names
list
to sift through.
A second list is truly not necessary.
Yeah, I really think like 100 is enough for you guys to get it in at 100.
And Sabrina is the definition of not up and coming. Like she came, she's here.
No, and like she would have been next last year if you guys were good on your predictors.
It's so true.
But now she's quite influential. I actually sent Claudia an interesting stat last night that I don't think anybody else is keeping tabs on.
You guys, it was such an interesting statistic.
Sabrina Carpenter has more followers on Instagram right now than Olivia Rodrigo.
That's fascinating to me.
It's really shocking.
It's really shocking.
Because I was listening to Short and Sweet yesterday and I had the thought, like, is Sabrina right now bigger than Olivia was at her height? They play the same venues. They both have songs on the radio, but for some reason this feels bigger. And maybe it's just because I'm enjoying it more. That's why I'm asking you.
Well, Olivia Rodrigo launched her Sour Tour after her first album and did not play these venues. Like Sabrina playing arenas on her first album is really crazy.
Like her fifth, but first.
You know what I mean? Like Olivia Rodrigo could have, but she didn't. And she did like big theaters, like a couple thousand people as opposed to like 15,000. And now in her second tour for Guts, which is like huge global, I just saw actually she made a TikTok. She did 85 shows and in every country in the world. Now her and Sabrina are playing the same size. So yes, I don't know. It's hard to... No,
it's hard to call. I can't call it because I'm biased because I'm a Sabrina swirly.
And I think it's also different. Like you really can't compare because Sabrina really, it was kind of amazing how every song she released, you were like, oh, well, it's obviously not going to be Espresso. Oh, it's obviously not going to be Please, Please, Please. And now the whole album is as big as Espresso was. Like
I feel that way about Olivia though too. Like her second song was Deja Vu. Like it was not as big as Driver's License because nothing could be as big as that. Like that was like a lightning in a bottle, but huge. And then everything she did after was like also really huge, and the album became huge.
Yeah. No, you're right. It's really similar.
And not to pit women against each other, but like let's do it.
Yeah. No. Let's get down to the numbers. Yeah, I'm curious.
Which one is superior?
Sound off in the comments. Like who had a bigger peak with their albums, Olivia or Sabrina?
Who reached higher heights?
Well, the Instagram follower thing is really interesting, even though there's so much about Instagram followings that like really I don't understand. Like the fact that Selena Gomez has more Instagram followers than Taylor Swift like really makes no sense to me. Like zero sense.
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
And so much of it
factor in like bots and whatnot, but I feel like there's bots on every side. Like there's bots everywhere.
The bots cancel each other out. Right. I feel like I thought you were going to say it, and I agree with you. You really have to think. I think maybe I look at it so much as like an American, right? Like I see it through my own lens, and you don't know who's like really biggest on the global scale. But globally, Taylor Swift is bigger than Selena Gomez. Like you can't even convince me otherwise.
Yeah. No, I think it's a pretty good marker to measure. Except when it comes to Selena Gomez and Taylor Swift.
It makes no sense. But that was also it's never who you think. I remember a little while ago somebody did like the Real Housewives who have the most followers, and it really wasn't who you would think it was. I think the number one followed one was Candy Burris. And that was because she had like a life and a career and a
fans
following
before.
outside of the show. Yeah. But the women of Atlanta were like all in the, like the OGs were all in like the top 10.
Yeah. Okay, but let's go through the Time
But
100
also,
list.
People also don't realize that Atlanta for a really long time was the highest rated show. Like the most people were watching it.
Right. So the Time 100 list, I'm not going to give you 100 names, and a lot of people like you don't know, they're like
Tech or
leaders and artists and whatnot. But of the people we do know, so for artists, and also who wrote the article on them, Dua Lipa by Patti Smith, Dev Patel by Daniel Kaluuya,
Okay.
21 Savage by Burna Boy,
Okay.
Aaliyah Bhatt by Tom Harper, Jenny Holzer by Kiki Smith, Coleman Domingo by Lenny Kravitz, Davine Joy Randolph by Uzo Aduba.
Oh, Aduba. That's cute.
Lauren Groff by Ann Patchett. Oh, I like Ann Patchett.
I just want to say, like, 99% of the people you are naming, I have no fucking
I know,
idea
but
who
this
these
is
people
the
are.
artist category. So these are like the famous people, like the celebrities.
Okay.
Jeffrey Wright by Octavia Spencer.
Queen.
Fantasia Barrino by Taraji P. Henson. And
That's
Taraji
cute.
P. Henson is also on the list herself later.
Oh, that's cute.
Leslie Odom Jr. by Kate Hudson.
Wait. That's random.
It is, but like I feel like there's obviously a connection, but I feel like it's a known connection if you think hard enough.
Okay.
I'm sure I could click on the article and it would tell me, but this is more fun. LaToya Ruby Frazier by Lynn Nottage. Alex Edelman by Phoebe Waller-Bridge. James McBride by Ethan Hawke. Brooks Headley by David Chang. I think he's a famous chef. Icons. Taraji P. Henson by Mary J. Blige.
Oh my God, obsessed.
Kylie Minogue by Chris Martin. Elliot.
How do those two know each other?
I mean, from the circuit. In
That's
and out of the
crazy.
green rooms.
That's crazy.
Elliot Page by Raquel Willis. Burna Boy, I think he had written on 21 Savage by Angelique Kidjo. Michael J. Fox by Ryan Reynolds.
Classic.
Thelma Golden by Michelle Obama. Sofia Coppola by Rashida Jones. Jenny Hermoso by Mana Shim. I think she's a soccer player because she's wearing a jersey in the picture. Is why I think that. Frank,
It's a good call.
deductive
Good
reasoning.
deduction, yeah.
Frank Mugisha by Hillary Rodham Clinton. Motaz Azaza by Yasmin Sirhan. Sakshi Malik by Nisha Pooja. Mark Cuban by Ashton Kutcher. Fun times.
Like, I hate to center myself in the Time 100 list.
Patrick
And-
Mahomes by A-Rod.
Oh, that's cute.
I mean, I could just jump around to the people we know. I'm sorry to the people.
I wish you would.
I know, but it's like some of the people in the first category we don't know, but like other people do. So I was just trying to be like.
That's nice, but like, let's be real. Everybody knows who we know.
As we get further down though into like Titans, I don't expect we would know everyone. Kelly Ripa by Anderson Cooper.
Oh, okay. Andy Cohen, like circle jerk of best friends. Love that.
Jack Antonoff by Maren Morris.
Question mark? Do they even work together?
I know. There are so many other people he works with.
That are like more famous.
Even
and-
Sabrina.
Yeah, Sabrina, Lana Del Rey, Taylor Swift. He's married to Margaret Qualley. Like,
Yeah.
he has like a kind of an endless well of people he could have tapped.
Yeah. So he tapped Maren.
Maybe they do work together.
Then in the leaders category, which is a lot of like politicians, I won't bore you. However, Rachel Goldberg Polin is
Queen.
on the list. As I had said actually a few weeks ago, that she should be the one, when they do the
So
cover.
who is the one? Sabrina?
There is no one. There's like 12 different covers. Sabrina's on a different list completely, turd, and I haven't even gotten to that one yet.
We got to a place where like these lists were so amazing, and then they all collectively decided to like give everyone the winning slot. Like, why can't there just be one Time Person of the Year?
There is a Time Person. Actually, no. These days, it's like the COVID nurses. Like, it's a group.
Well, that's fine. No, that's fine. Like, I remember it was
By
like
the
the
way,
Time's
no.
Up women.
There's 4 different, like last year there was 4 different covers. I think that's been going on for a while now. You know how I feel about that.
I know it's giving Sports Illustrated. Like, okay, let's give out Toasty 100 of the year. Like, who is the Time Person of the Year? It's kind of like a lot went down. And like the thing is, and I understand, like obviously I see it from a celebrity perspective,
Yeah.
right? Like I think it should be Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. But there are other like athletes, politics, world leaders. Like I get that we have to cover all different categories. So not every year it's going to be a celebrity. And I like that. It shouldn't be a celebrity every year.
Yeah.
But I'm always going to see it. Like it's the year of Travis, Like
The Time Person of the Year.
Taylor Swift was last year.
And that feels right, actually.
Yeah.
Like, including politicians and everything, because, like, it was
Yes.
tailored.
But who, like, really was, like, the big thing this year? Whether it was, like, a world event. Like, it's literally, like, the war in the Middle East. But then,
Right.
like... And by the way, they Time 100 is not taking a side. Like, when you were reading, like, Motaz is, like, a big Palestinian reporter. Hirsch Goldberg's mother is... Like, they really are playing both sides.
Yeah.
So I don't think they could just choose one if they were to make, like, the event of the year the war.
For me, it's Eden Golan.
For you, it is. And I love her, but I don't know if, like, for everyone it is.
I think, like, she's representative of the year. Did you listen to her new song?
I haven't yet.
Eden was the Israeli candidate for Eurovision, which we, like, recapped thoroughly earlier this year. She just put out her next song. It's called Older, and it, like, somehow is a bop, while also, like, capturing the feeling of, like, Israel right now. It's so gargy-pargy, la turt. I can't believe you haven't listened. And for everybody else, stream Older. You didn't stream Skin when I told you to, and you missed out. So listen up now.
Stream Skin. I don't know what was, like, the big thing this year. Like,
No, it really is the war.
Right? Like, what was
Yeah.
the most Googled term or phrase this year?
Well, that list will be coming out soon. So we're at
Right.
the end. We're in October. List season is really November. For the slackers, it's December. But we start to really get the year at a glance in November.
List season is upon us.
Right, and this is the beginning of list season. People's Sexiest Man is coming soon. We had that little teaser where we got to vote, but I never put in my email address.
We all agree, like, the lists are getting worse. They're getting, like, more inclusive, which is not a bad thing, but I mean, like, everyone's a winner.
Yeah.
When it's like, why can't we just give a winner? Like, whether it's going to be hotly contested, but that's okay. Like, make a decision, choose someone.
Do you want to know Time 100 next key names? I won't make you suffer through the non-key
Emphasis
names.
on key.
Emphasis on key, okay. Artists, the number one, Sabrina Carpenter by Christina Aguilera.
Oh, that's why they were together.
And they were also recording something for Christina's, like, anniversary of her song.
Yeah, they did a cover together. It was adorable.
It was Parge. Victoria Monet by Yara Shahidi.
Okay.
Ashley Park by Tina Fey.
Interesting.
Kaya Gerber by Laura Dern. Hiya Dern, Laura Dern.
Oh, cute. Okay.
Scroll, scroll, scroll. Scroll. Phenoms. Shabuzi by Jelly Roll. Now that is a good one, except it should have been last year technically.
Yeah,
he's here.
Yeah, this list is stupid.
Renee Rapp by Busy Phillips. They look alike.
Oh my God, you took the words right out of my mouth.
Sister?
They are twins. That's crazy.
Ilona Mar by Lindsey Vonn.
Oh, I'm so happy for her. That's
Have you
great.
read the conspiracy that you are off of Ilona Mar?
I did read the conspiracy theory that that I have, like, beef with Ilona Mar.
Yeah, you're, like, done with her. How do you respond to these charges?
I love, like, the crazy things I end up when they're, like, harmless, right?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the crazy conspiracies that come up about me and you, like me having imaginary beef with Ilona Mar, because I actually was recapping Dancing with the Stars and I forgot to mention her. Mind you, you're all up Ilona Mar's ass. Like, I was there the last Olympics. Can you say the same? No, I invented Ilona Mar. You jealous bitches.
So don't
all
have
that
beef
to
with her.
say, me and Ilona Mar do not have beef. I love it. I'm sorry when I was recapping Dance with the Stars, I forgot about her. But you know what? I'm glad I did, because her first week performance was really not good. And I'm glad I didn't have to say that. But look, now I said it.
Yeah, that's what you made her say. You made her.
You
created the
made
beef.
me say it.
You created the beef that you wanted. Now I am continuing to scroll for another name in another category that we recognize. I'm not seeing. Alexander Wang is here. Didn't he have some stuff?
Bad stuff.
Something?
And I just want to say, like, maybe it's always awkward when somebody does something, like, unignorable, but they've been canceled, right? That kind of, I feel like, is what happened with Morgan Wallen. Like, he obviously was, like, radioactive, but his success was so unignorable, they had to, like, include him back in country music. Alexander Wang was, like, some really atrocious allegations came out about him. And I don't think he's, like, really moving the needle, like, crazy amounts in the fact, like, he is ignorable.
You could have skipped over him and we wouldn't have been like, where's Alexander Wang on this list?
Correct.
Except, like, where is Morgan Wallen on the Time influential list and Luke Combs? Because they are, like, the biggest ones in music right now. Like, them and Taylor, they did the stadium tours.
Right,
Where were they
right.
on the list?
Right.
The list is lacking. Every year
in
that
agreement.
Luke isn't on it, it's lacking.
Yeah.
Even
It's
though
kind of
I'm
like
sure,
the
like-
Bechdel test, the Luke test.
I'm sure that Luke doesn't give a rip.
Destemi espresso.
Luke waiting up at midnight to see if he made the Time 100 list.
No. Were there any influencers on it?
I didn't see any.
Who do you think?
Like, I just scrolled through the whole next list, even where I feel like they would shove an influencer, and I didn't see a recognizable name.
Who do you
But
think
like
right
Alex
now?
Earl.
Right, I was going to say.
Alex Earl.
Yeah. Even though if there ever was like a year for her to have been on it, I feel like maybe it would have been last year. Maybe she was on it. Like, who do you feel is like the big influencer this year? And there are some like, you know, evergreen ones. Like I feel like Michaela Nagaro, the beauty girly from TikTok, like she's...
Yeah, there are evergreen ones who are just like, that's their career now. But in terms of like who's Hawk Tuah, perhaps?
No.
Hawk Tuah, Time's most influential. I see it. It feels right.
I agree. And you better talk to her.
Talk Tuah.
I think it's
Every
the best
time
name
I
for a
see
podcast.
Talk Tuah in the podcast app, I'm like, I love that.
That you say that feels right.
That feels right.
Okay, so this list I'm giving like a major flop.
Yeah, but how could we? Like, we were never going to be like 100 for 100.
And can I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
Is the Time 100 list numerical, or they just do like
No,
5 different
categories?
Oh my God, like they're taking all the fun out of these lists.
And it doesn't seem like the names are like in any sort of order of importance, except for Sabrina being top of 100 next.
Boring.
Agreed.
Like I like to pit artists against artists. Like that's just a little bit about me from like an entertainment perspective. Like I loved, you know, competition benefits the consumer, right?
Yeah, and if they were on the next list this year, does that mean that next year they should be on the main list? And if they're not, it kind of didn't bear fruit?
If you're on the next list, Calvin Homer, you should be on the regular list next year. God willing, you know? But
yeah,
if things go terribly wrong.
Yeah.
Because there are some people who like 1 year you can't stop fucking hearing about them, right? And then you never hear about them again.
Yeah. And you don't even realize you haven't heard about them because you forgot about them. So we couldn't even give
flop.
you an example because they're out of the ether.
Yeah, that's always so interesting when that happens.
You hate to see it. Unless it's by choice, Addison Rae.
I feel like Meghan Trainor should have been on there. I'm kind of having like a Meghan Trainor like obsession.
Me too, because I love her song To the Moon.
Which one is that?
Take you to
the moon.
And now, like, my Spotify thinks I love Meghan Trainor, so it's like, dear future husband. I'm like, okay, shut up. So I didn't want to listen to that one.
She came across my desk because she just sold out Madison Square Garden and like footage.
I saw she brought out Paris Hilton.
Oh yeah, I saw that too. She did like a lot to commemorate, and she was like crying. And then all these videos of her show came across my desk, and like you really forget how many hits she has. And like it's actually, I don't feel like she gets enough credit for literally revitalizing her music career and doing it all using social media. Like it could be a case study for how artists can use social media. Like, and you know, they clown on her for making like TikTok music. Let me just say her music is good.
My lip's gonna take you to the moon. Yeah, I'm listening to her new music and I'm not on TikTok, so.
And like it does get annoying after hearing it so many times. Like that song was good. I could have my Gucci on. I could wear my Louis
Vuitton.
But even with nothing on. And she managed to do it all while being in like such a stable, healthy marriage, having 2 adorable kids. Like honestly, not enough people are saying Meghan Trainor is a role model.
Mr. and Mrs. Cortez.
Yeah. And you know, I went to a concert and I went because Kelsey Ballerini and Elle King were playing and like Meghan Trainor was just like in the lineup and I wasn't going for her. And it was actually really shocking to see like people lit up. I forget that like TikTok fandom is like really crazy. They were screaming, crying, throwing up everyone on their phones when Meghan Trainor came out. And I was like, oh, let me see what she's about. And she has such a great personality too. She like really carried the show well with her vocals. And like, you know what? I just feel like I'm not complimenting Meghan Trainor enough these days.
Pargylicious.
Yeah.
Add her to the list of people we're not complimenting enough.
Pargylicious equals conversation stopper. Conversation dead end.
Conversation ender.
No, conversation bow. Like we're just wrapping it up.
Or alternatively, add her to the list.
Yeah. Okay. Pargylicious equals add her to the list equals rip.
Equals totally.
I agree.
It used to be, we used to say totally more, but now I'm feeling Pargylish.
I mean, I'm here for it.
Are you ready for our next story? Maybe I shouldn't have ended the last conversation because this next story is seriously so disturbing that it needs to be discussed. So here I go. Sean Diddy Combs accused of new allegations in a set of allegations that have come out as an attorney is representing 120 individuals in civil lawsuits for the horrifying allegations spanning the last 3 decades. So Diddy was accused of sexually assaulting 25 minors, including a 9-year-old, during a shocking press conference. The attorney's name is Tony Busby, and this is what he said, quote, "I want to focus on the ages of these victims. When we talk about the ages of these victims when the conduct occurred, it is shocking." Busby said that Diddy's youngest victim was just 9 years old when the disgraced rapper sexually assaulted them. Quote, "This individual, who was 9 years old at the time, was taken to an audition in New York City with Bad Boy Records. Other boys were there to audition as well. All of the kids were seeking TV or music careers with the promise of 'I'll make you a star,' according to the attorney. Quote, "This individual was sexually abused allegedly by Sean Combs and several other people at the studio with the promise to both his parents and himself of getting a record deal." The attorney shared other similar stories alleging that Combs once forced another minor to perform oral sex on him in exchange for a record deal. Quote, "Another instance, an individual 15 years old at the time was flown to New York City to attend a party where she was drugged and then taken to a private room allegedly in the presence of Mr. Combs. This female individual was raped and then other individuals took turns raping her." The attorney further noted that the group of 120 accusers is evenly divided by males and females. The attorney said, quote, "We will expose the enablers who enabled this conduct behind closed doors. We will pursue this matter no matter who the evidence implicates." He said that many powerful people and many dirty secrets will be exposed. He informed that some of the names will, quote, "shock people." And
he said from like the top of banks to companies to world leaders, like the names. And I'm telling you, may God protect this man because he's going missing. Any day now, he's going to disappear.
No, name him. Blame
Name
him.
him.
Shame
This man.
him. We need to know who are the people who are doing things like this. It could be people that we talk about every day glowingly on this show. Like the behavior, it says multiple allegations of violence, sexual assault or rape, facilitated sex with a controlled substance, dissemination of video recordings and sexual abuse minors. This morning, all of the headlines were like different bits and pieces from this lawsuit that's
press
come out.
conference.
One of them is a pregnant woman who woke up after being drugged and raped and her like genitalia like ripped open. They used horse tranquilizers to drug people at these parties. Like the worst of the worst. Like we need names now.
No, and I'm just like, I'm having deja vu when like we thought all this info was going to come out with Epstein and then like everyone disappeared and there literally was never a list, right?
No,
Well,
the only person to be like, convicted of trafficking and who's the clients, right?
Right.
Like, who'd you traffic to?
Right, like Ghislaine is going to sing for her supper. Never happened. Oh my God,
for
I feel
some
actually
reason,
like I could throw up.
So for some reason, it always felt like we weren't going to get those names, right? Like
it felt too good to be true.
I didn't feel like I'm seriously like checking the news every morning for names. Like here, I really feel like it's any day now.
It's also just so crazy, like how many victims there were. And, you know, when it comes to like Harvey Weinstein, because now I go back and I watch Entourage and there was a character whose name was Harvey. And like, I think it was like Larvey Weinstein. It was clearly, and he was like this disgusting looking. And so it was this open secret, right? Like everybody knew about it. And now if you go back, there's so many instances of like people literally saying it. And I feel like Diddy, at least for me, like didn't have that reputation, right? And that's why it's even more shocking, all of these things.
At least, yes, but I don't pay attention to Diddy. Like I was never really a huge fan of his music or like follow him on Instagram. So it's not like I was like hearing things about him and like clocking them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the only thing people are now like going back and finding is this one Eminem lyric where he refers to P. Diddy as an R-A-P-E-R. And people think he spelled rapper. He's like, no, I forgot a P. Diddy? Like, it's like literally that's the only thing people have found as like damning evidence.
And like the Simpsons episode of a white party.
Oh, was there?
But I watched a little bit of it. Maybe I missed something. I didn't see like
the correlation.
No, he's the white party guy, but I didn't see what went down in the episode that was like, oh, this is what goes down at Diddy's parties. But maybe I just didn't see it.
Those allegations are so violent and so like I actually feel like I could throw up.
Yeah.
And like, oh my God, what a fucking animal. Like
animal. And like that's just like that this has been going on for so many years, like how brazen he was.
May every person who knew about this and like let them burn. Oh my God. Like the amount of people it takes to orchestrate years and years and years of these parties, hundreds of, these are only the victims we know about. It's literally been a month since this came out. Like, may they all be punished to the fullest extent of the law.
Yeah.
And you know what they do to child predators in prison.
Hopefully.
Let them have it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I feel sick.
Yeah. So we will keep you posted on that one. Are you ready for our next story? Some happy news from
please
the happiest place on earth.
Disney?
Disneyland Paris. Kylie Jenner makes a rare return to the runway, closes the Coperni show at Disneyland Paris. So let me tell you, yesterday my whole social media feed was just dark, bullets raining down, terrorists, Iran, Israel. And then I saw Kylie Jenner grace the runway at Disneyland, and it really put a smile on my face. She is such a fucking queen. I love this fashion show. First of all, Coperni is a really great house. They make nice, pretty clothes, nothing that you have to mind then to understand.
Right, no Balenciaga energy.
Right, freaky deaky stuff. I love that it was at Disney.
Parchy.
I'm sure up until they made that decision, no one would ever have wanted to do a fashion show there. It's literally giving Orlando Fashion Week.
Yeah.
Who would go to Disney for their fashion show?
There's something about Disney that, as much as we love it, it's so, I can see fashion people saying it's tacky.
100%.
Lowbrow.
But no, that castle is beautiful. Sorry.
It's literally a castle.
It's a castle. And when you look at it in a different light of a high fashion, she's a princess, it was pargylicious.
I loved this. First, I want to say it's, a lot of people, we were just having this conversation about Bethany, right? That model walk is so hard. And even how hard you practice, if you're not a professional model, it's really hard to ace. Her walk was incredible. So you would think she was a high fashion model for years.
So graceful, but also so confident. I feel like she is the most confident person on earth. And that's why it's always surprising when you watch Keeping Up and she's crying about what the haters say about her. But I actually feel she is most of the time so confident. She just is comfortable in her skin. I mean, who wouldn't be? She's so gorgeous, but a million girls are gorgeous and they're hunched over and feeling shy. She is just really exemplary in the way that she carries herself. And I know that sounds maybe a high praise for just someone who walked down a runway in a pretty dress, but I don't know, she's got that je ne sais quoi, as the French say.
And even, every time the Kardashians do something, especially Kylie, she's under such scrutiny. Everybody's well, this is bad. Nobody said a word. She did not give anyone a single opportunity to critique. You could not say one. She looked sick. The dress was perfect. The walk was everything. I loved, and how the high fashion people, really, really hoity-toity people, they the celebrity culture is an annoying but necessary part of Fashion Week, but it really should be the editors. Nobody could say shit. She ate. She slayed the house down. Boots. I loved it.
She slayed the house down. Gloves. The mouse
brilliant
house,
moment
nonetheless.
For Coperni. Maybe they wouldn't have been really making any noise. It's hard to stick out Fashion Week when every big brand is doing everything. I loved it. She looked amazing. And honestly, I never even heard of this brand, but that dress was cute. You're right. Sometimes you see these Fashion Week shows and it's so avant-garde. You're okay, I'm never going to buy this. It's
right.
Good for you, but not for me. No, sign me up, Coperni. Give me a dress.
Yeah. And good for Meesker Moosker as well. This was a win for the Diz.
It's huge for the Meesker Mooskers.
Bob Iger is seriously weeping tears of joy somewhere.
Agreed. It was so fabulous. And I feel Kylie has a bad association from Paris Fashion Week of last year where everyone was making fun of her face and what did she have done? It was a lot. I think she looks back on it as a negative time, and she was having, I think she has said, maybe it was 2 years ago, that she was having a lot of postpartum anxiety too. And now to see her actually close it out and just tell everyone to kiss her fucking ass. I loved it.
No, she's seriously the most beautiful person on earth, at the happiest place on earth.
It was joyous.
It was abundant.
It was giving abundance.
It was giving abundance of joy for me personally. So I just want to thank everyone involved. And they can and that's the thing about the fashion world. You can still do that. We haven't written you off completely. You can still have magical moments.
You can.
And
sometimes it's obvious. Kylie Jenner is she's mainstream, and that's okay.
Do you think that we're so captivated by this because of the magic of Disney? I seriously feel I'm under a spell. That's how I felt.
By the way, I would say, yeah, because everyone is. Even people like, we're always going to be like, Kylie farts, and we're like, yeah, it's amazing. I love the smell. But everyone else is like, when Kylie does something, like they're always running to find like a critique of it. Nobody, yeah, we're all like under the influence of
fairy dust.
Walt Disney.
100%. They should do everything at Disney.
1000%.
They should definitely hold like more high society, highbrow functions at Disney. Like I love the coupling.
Yeah, I mean, Disneyland Paris is different. I think it's hard because, like, in America... I mean, actually, no, there's one in Anaheim. Like, yeah.
Even though the one in Orlando, like, is the OG, it's actually the...
It's just hard to get people to Orlando.
It is hard, but I think it's worth trying. And they also have Universal Studios. Yeah, I think I might go to Universal this year.
Do it up.
Yeah, and they have Ripley's, believe it or not. Kim went there.
Yes, she did.
And they have the Sabrina Carpenter concert and Rascal Flatts coming through.
Do you believe it?
I do. I'm a believing person. They've not given me any reason to not believe. Do you believe it?
I would say or not. And do you happen to have that swirlitude?
Of course I do.
Okay, just checking. Phew.
Do you think I didn't? Like, do I look like I don't?
I don't. Maybe it's just your camera. You looked like you were kind of lacking swirlitude today.
Oh, like, could you say something meaner?
By the way, no. I was like joking and like LARPing, and I accidentally said something really hurtful. I apologize.
It happens. I've been there.
Before we keep going, let me let you know that today's episode is brought to you by State Farm. Did you know that, or am I surprising you?
To be honest, I knew that.
By the way, believe it or not, today's episode is brought to you by State Farm. So we know our toasters agree that nothing feels better than a personal win. Like when you get a final piece of furniture delivered to your apartment and your home truly feels complete. You've hit a personal best in a new workout. Maybe you're a toaster who managed to stop for a much needed iced coffee and still made it to work on time. Or you found a new pair of jeans that finally fit perfectly. Or you finally fit into your like jeans from high school. Whatever it is that you define as a win, it calls for a celebration. And who's cheering right beside you? State Farm. Because with the State Farm personal price plan, you can create an affordable price just for you when you bundle home and auto. So complete by breaking out the confetti and those happy dance moves and talk to a State Farm agent today to learn how you can bundle and save with the new personal price plan. Now, some of you guys may know this about me. Some of you guys, if you're new here, you don't. A close personal friend of mine is Jake from State Farm, and he is working around the clock, him and all the agents at State Farm, working around the clock to make sure that you are getting the best coverage and the best possible price for the things that matter most, right? Like your family, your home, your cars, things you've worked your whole life for. State Farm gets that because like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And I feel like we often just like run past like a good neighbor, State Farm is there, but listen to those words. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
And I know all about good neighbors. So it's really like kind of the highest praise you could give someone to be a good neighbor and for a company to be there for you like a good neighbor.
Talk to a State Farm agent today to learn how you can bundle and save with the personal price plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Today's episode is also brought to you by Horoscope Weekly. So we want to share a podcast with you called Horoscope Weekly, hosted by the brilliant author and astrologer, Eliza Kelly. Horoscope Weekly takes you on an insightful and personalized cosmic journey. The horoscope girlies are everywhere, right? And I think that we're all like talking about horoscopes, and why not add that to your podcast rotation? So she's interpreting the latest astrological events. She's bringing you cosmic insights for the week ahead, along with detailed guidance on what you should expect this week based on your unique zodiac sign. Because you know what drops weekly? Most podcasts, but also your horoscope. Makes sense that the two are in tandem. So whether you're an astrology enthusiast, a curious newcomer, perhaps you're a doubter, non-believer, let Horoscope Weekly with Eliza be your guide through the stars. New episodes are released every Monday. You can get it wherever you get your podcasts. Just search Horoscope Weekly with Eliza Kelly. Eliza is spelled A-L-I-Z-A. Kelly, the podcast is called Horoscope Weekly. Feel free to tune in or send to your horoscope-obsessed bestie. Horoscope Weekly with Eliza Kelly. New episodes release every Monday, and they are available wherever you get your podcasts. Just search for Horoscope Weekly with Eliza Kelly.
Thank you, Turt.
You're welcome, Shirt.
Thank you, Turt Weekly with Turt Kelly.
You're welcome.
Our next story, another fashion news. Nicole Kidman's daughter, Sunday, makes her runway debut at Paris Fashion Week. So Nicole Kidman's daughter, Sunday Rose, has officially made her runway debut. The 16-year-old, who's the daughter of Nicole and her husband, Keith Urban, graced the catwalk on Tuesday as part of Miu Miu's Spring-Summer 2025 Paris Fashion Week show.
I was surprised because when I read this, I first thought it was her child, one of her children with Tom Cruise, who have been like shunned and banned from speaking to her, like literally leaving the house. And I was excited because that means, you know, maybe the grasp Scientology has on their kids is slowly loosening. But alas, no. It's her and her and Keith Urban's kids. So that's great too. Happy for them. Love to see nepotism taking the fashion world by storm. Some of my favorite.
The fashion world loves nepotism. That's their favorite.
It's my favorite too. Like my favorite swirlies are all, you know, really undeserving of their success. And I love that. Like I really, really do. Cool. I feel like Miu Miu is like really crushing it.
Yeah.
And especially when it comes to like young people. Like I think a lot of the Gen Z zillennial swirlies, like it's Miu Miu is their like designer of the moment.
Yeah.
And they're always like dressing Alex Earl. I feel like they do a really good job with young people. And so tapping into an up and coming Nepo baby, genius.
The runway also.
I want to see what she looks like.
She looks like Nicole a bit, and she's got that like Nicole facial expression of like the flare nostril, like she's doing the Nicole Kidman.
Yeah, it was Sunday Rose or Isabella Jane?
Sunday Rose.
Oh yeah, Isabella Jane is Isabella Jane Cruz.
Sunday Rose.
Oh, she's very beautiful.
Yeah. How could she not be?
Oh, I'm obsessed.
Yeah. And then also they obviously got like, you know, they were having a buzzy runway. They had Willem Dafoe,
Oh,
Alexa
I saw
Chung,
that.
Cara Delevingne, and Hilary Swank.
How many kids does Nicole Kidman have?
That's an interesting bunch of people.
3. Yeah, so she has 1 with Keith Urban and then 2, a son and a daughter, Connor and Isabella.
And they're much older. Bella's 31 and Connor's 29.
Right, because they're from her marriage with Tom Cruise, which for me is like a personal celebrity Roman empire. She has 4 kids.
Yeah, and she has 2 daughters with Keith Urban. I didn't realize that they had kids together. That's pretty pargy and not in a conversation-ending sort of way.
I don't think I realized that they had kids together either, because they kind of give like second marriage, like, you know, sunset into
golden years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she became a first-time mother in 93 when her and Tom Cruise adopted their daughter Bella. A few years later, they welcomed the son Connor into their family. Though they split in 2001, she told Elle that the former couple's kids were raised amidst a lot of love. They're generous and hardworking, yada, yada. After splitting with Cruise, she went on to marry Keith Urban, and they 2 years later welcomed their first daughter, Sunday Rose, followed by Faith. So yeah, they have 2 kids she has 2 kids from each marriage.
That's lovely. I didn't know she was a mom of 4.
Me neither. I wonder if her and Katie Holmes like ever girly girl chit chat together. They could just swap stories for ages.
I don't think so.
You don't?
I don't.
Okay.
That's just, but what do I know? Literally 0.
And you know that I can't talk about Nicole Kidman's kids without
Leah Remini?
No. Close. Keep guessing. Without bringing up a particular Keith Urban.
Blue Ain't Your Color?
Turns his kids ice cold. He wrote a lyric about like Tom Cruise like literally turning his kids against.
I think Keith Urban needs to write a song about Tariq's armed hike, and it should be sung by Keenan's Uber driver. And then like your life will be made.
I just want to bring up the lyric because I always botch it, and it's actually really beautiful. Let me just find it. I don't understand how another man can take your son and turn it ice cold. Now he spells it S-U-N because it's like a play on like heat and cold, obviously. But if you really read between the lines, these are not surface lyrics. You know he's talking about son turning his kids against Nicole Kidman.
So what would Keith Urban write about Tariq's armed hike?
I mean, where does he begin? The magnitude of it all is not lost on him.
There's actually a lot, like, because you could really play on like Woods themes and references, like
and also like whose point of view is Keith Urban speaking from? Tariq, the gun, Christina,
I think
the moose in the woods.
Your point of view, the helicopter pilot who was like Tariq.
From my point,
man.
Okay, so if it's my point of view, it's really a song about like not being able to move past, very like Right Where You Left Me by Taylor Swift energy.
Got it. I stayed here, dust collecting on Tariq's gun.
I mean, actually, dust wasn't collecting, and therein lies the issue.
Yeah. Are you ready for our 5th and final story? Actually, circling back to something
I am. I thought that was it.
No, circling back to something that we discussed at the top of the show, but I didn't segue into it because it's very fifth and final story energy. Olivia Rodrigo's Guts concert special is coming to Netflix.
Wait, how did I miss this?
To just sort of put a pin in that, Olivia Rodrigo has announced a concert special to debut on Netflix on October 29th. The streamer will air the vampire pop star's performance from the Intuit Dome in LA from her Guts World Tour. She said, "I'm so excited to share the Guts World Tour with my fans. For those of you who didn't get a chance to rock out in person, now you can have the best seats in the house. And to the fans who cheered, screamed, and danced with me, I'm so glad we get to do it all over again."
I love concert movies. I think that there was a time where we were getting so many, like Beyonce, Taylor, Reputation. Like, I love to watch a concert from home, and I love that Netflix does it. Like, the Ben Platt one was really good, too. Like, they do all different kinds, you know? Love.
Yeah. But you saw her on tour?
I did.
So you'll be part of the latter group that she discussed of people enjoying it again.
She was thanking me.
I might be part of the former group of people who didn't get to see it but could watch at home. And I think I could see myself being in this headspace of needing a little concert, a little getting ready, listening, watching something.
Yeah.
You know?
That's the thing. It's perfect, like,
It's a nice
background
vibe,
watching, mindless. I love concert DVDs. Like,
And like more of this. I like them in general too. I mean, obviously no one could ever do it better than Hannah Montana and Miley Cyrus' Best of Both Worlds, but you could try.
Correct.
But
You
keep
could.
trying.
no, and I welcome it. Please
reach
try.
the moon. Even if you miss, you'll land among the stars.
Hannah Montana.
No, the moon is Hannah Montana.
You'll land among, like, One Direction. That was a great one.
Beautiful. Your
There was
favorite
a-
one. What's your
There
favorite
was a time, Shawn Mendes. There was a time where, like, these movies were so popular, they were being, like, released in theaters.
Katy
And then
Perry,
I feel
Part
like-
of Me.
Well, then I think that they went to, like, hybrid concert / documentaries, which is fine. It depends on the person. I don't love it. Like, Beyonce's Homecoming was half documentary, half, and I actually liked it because, like, the prep was so insane, and she was like talking a lot about, like, her post baby weight. Like, that was really interesting. Sometimes people aren't interesting. Like, maybe just sing. Like, not to be one of those people, but shut up and sing.
Shut up and sing. Shawn Mendes.
Shut up and sing. So then we got to a place where it was like hybrid, and I don't really, it's touch and go, but overall I don't think I like that. Now I feel like, you know, real hardcore concert movies are coming back.
Bring them back.
Bring them back. I mean, like, the Eras tour was, I forgot about that part of, like, my life where that movie was coming out. That was, like, some of the most fun I've ever had at home and at the theater.
I look forward to that after I see it live.
We are underratedly going so soon. We
I
still don't
know.
have outfits. We still don't have plans.
I ordered.
Like, whatever.
I ordered stuff for us. I ordered.
Oh,
what
did you order
sent
that
me.
dress?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
great. Okay.
So we
cool,
got
cool.
something, but like I have a closet full of outfits that are made for the Eras tour. Like, let's get real.
We will figure it out.
I've got a closet full of seamless and boots.
So we are going to move on to Dear Toasters, our weekly advice segment, where we read 3 submissions from 3 swirlies in need. If you are in need, feel free to send us an email, deartoasters@gmail.com, or head over to our website, thetoastpodcast.com. If you scroll down, there's a little submission box. Both are totally anonymous. You can write in about anything, and we will do our best to get to you. So today we have some really interesting submissions. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Hey, Jackson Claude. I recently found an old iPad in one of my husband's storage units when we were moving. I charged the iPad, and it turns out it is his ex-girlfriend's iPad with all of her old social media accounts still logged in. I'm so nosy, so my best friend and I went through these to see if she was talking shit about me. She was. But she found out recently, and she is claiming that this is like a huge invasion of privacy. What do you both think? I know I shouldn't have snooped, but I think an invasion of privacy is like a little far-fetched.
I mean, it is an invasion of privacy. You invaded her privacy, but it's not like she's like gonna sue you. It's an invasion of privacy. Okay, next.
Yeah, it is an invasion of privacy. But
Like, it was there. What only like seriously a really big person wouldn't look.
no, of course. And like, by the way, like, she can't just go around leaving her shit places. Like, things are going to happen.
Yeah.
These are the consequences of her actions.
But like, you didn't break the law. And how did she find out that you looked? And
Well-
also, like, what sort of like small circle is this that like you see your ex's iPad and you start looking to see if she's talking shit about you? Like, who cares what she thinks about you? Like, I would look to see, you know, if he's still reaching out to her or something. Like, I don't know.
I
This
would-
is kind
by
of
the way,
like
if
a
it was
half
the
big-
ex-
don't you find this a half big story?
if this was the ex's iPad, like, that she owned, you have like notifications about your devices, like through your iCloud and stuff, or through your social media. Like, sometimes Instagram would be like, there was a login attempt, and they'll literally give you the address if you like zoom in on the map. Like,
But they didn't attempt to log in. It was already logged in.
yeah.
No, but like, why is your ex
No, but
leave
also-
her iPad? How far away
Wealthy.
is his ex? Also, like, how how much time in between? It sounds like literally the ex of one day, and that's why you went to go look, because why else would she be talking shit about you? Did you steal her man? This is not the whole story.
Oh, wow. J'accuse.
I'm just saying, it's giving not the whole story, because also, like, then how did she know that you snooped unless, like, you literally share a best friend who told her that you snooped? And then who is she accusing you of invading her privacy to? Because why do you care what she says about you? Why do you know her?
No, but let's say she found out in a not nefarious way, like through her iPad or whatever. How did she then get in contact with you that, like, you invaded her privacy? Did she tell the boyfriend? Why is her boyfriend still talking to his ex?
But even if she found out that you got into her iPad because she literally left it by you and you just charged it, you could have charged it and not read anything. She knows what you read because someone close to you told her, which means you guys are just too close and you all need to separate a bit.
So you're saying break up?
I'm saying, who's really the third in this relationship?
Chilling.
Did your ex tell? Like, I'm just saying, this is not the whole story, and I can't operate with half the information.
This is a really funny one, okay? My husband and I are both full-time college students, and when we got married, we made goals that focused on building our financial stability and our career so that when we finish school, we will be ready to buy a home and have kids. Because of this, we've had to be very frugal with our expenses and cut back on things. My husband has been very good at finding odd jobs so he can make a little extra money for fun stuff. Well, his newest endeavor is driving me crazy. Last year, my husband decided he wanted to become TikTok famous and make extra money from it. I didn't think anything of it at the time, but now his account has grown where he actually can make money off of the creator fund, and he's managed to make a couple $1,000s or more a month, which is great. The problem is, I hate his content.
What is the content?
He runs an account where he interviews random people at the grocery store and makes like funny bits out of it. He's gotten complaints from some of the store owners about it, and they've had to make criteria for what he can and cannot film in their stores. We live in a relatively small town, so family and friends have seen him doing it, and I think it's so embarrassing. He's also constantly on TikTok scrolling for ideas and editing, and I genuinely feel like the extra money is not worth my husband gallivanting around town, shoving his phone in people's faces. He says it's become a fun hobby for him and wishes that I would support his success, and I'd rather be poor right now while we focus on building our careers. Am I wrong? Sincerely, an embarrassed toaster.
Oh my gosh, like, you're not wrong, but I really don't know what you could do about this. First of all, he needs to, like, maybe stay out of the grocery store. Can he do just like man on the street in your town, like in a place where he's not like bothering people and causing problems?
No, I feel like the solve here is like seriously to do this in another town. Like, it's that town's problem. They don't know you there. Like, you
should like go to another town for the day,
keep the
like
money.
Do a content day.
No, like, seriously, drop him off.
But what does she do about the fact that he's like constantly working on his content, editing, and
that can be like worked on, right? Like, you can set boundaries with social media, and if you're making a lot of money, like, you can hire an editor to take some of that shit off your plate. Like, if you're really making money,
or it's like, if this is your job, you have between, like, you stop editing at 6 o'clock. Like, after 6 o'clock, no more editing. Like, do it during working hours.
Yeah. But also, like, and I understand, like, the issue here, but a couple $1,000s a month is a lot of money.
Yeah.
So, like, let's make it work. The answer is not, like, getting him to stop completely.
And the thing is, if he works hard on it, like, he might be making way more soon. So I don't think he should stop. And also, I think it will cause a problem if he's loving this and you tell him to stop, and it will just cause resentment. So we do have to find a way to live with it and to, like, get it out of your face.
Yeah, so I actually think starting, like, making this content like an hour drive away from you, like, will solve a lot of your problems. It'll solve like the store owner issues, the people in town, and then, like, have a healthy conversation about, like, phone usage in the home, like boundaries. I think that's totally normal. I actually think a lot of people have that. Like, I know a lot of people, like, are not allowed to bring their phones to the dinner table, like, and you have, like, set times. So it's all new to him, so he's probably, like, overwhelmed. Mm-hmm. But stopping everything is not the answer. Like, that's a lot of money. And if you work at it, it could be more.
I agree. And actually, I'm glad he's making money, because, like, if it gives you a reason to not stop him, because if he was making no money, like, and he still wanted to keep doing this, there wouldn't, like, I just let him do it. You just got to let him.
Yeah. And, like, you need to get comfortable with, like, this being your husband's hobby. But there are ways to make it better.
Like,
and
I
actually
Claudia
think,
4th of July.
Oh my God, did I write this? No, I literally wrote this. Okay, ready? Mm-hmm. Hi, Swirlies. First off, I credit you guys for my pop culture knowledge. I love you so much. Literally everyone comes to me for pop culture, and I know everything because of you guys. Wow, obsessed. So here's my question. My grandpa's grandpa name is Cooter.
I love that so much. That's so me coded.
It was not a problem for me until recently. I'm 23, and people are like thinking I'm so weird for having a grandpa named Cooter, which like fair, but this man refuses to change his grandpa name. What is a good comeback for this? Because I feel like such a weenie that I have a grandpa named Cooter. Love a toaster who needs better comebacks. Okay, first of all, you are 23, and like there are people around you who are making fun of you for your grandpa. Like those people are evil, and no, seriously, they immediately need to be cut out of your life. Like I thought seriously when I read this, I'm like, oh, maybe a 12-year-old's writing in. Like, bitch, you're 23. Like you actually have people in your life who are bullying you. Like
no, and who are like making you feel bad about something, like one that's innocent and sweet and precious and innocuous. Like no.
So much so that you're going to your grandfather to ask him to change his name. Like, bitch, he's 100 years old. Like, no,
I think it's a really good Bechdel.
I don't even think it's a bad name.
If you should have this person in your life. Like, can I tell you my grandpa's Scooter without you making fun of me? Great.
If so, come on in.
Yeah.
No, and the great thing about being like an adult with free will is like, it's not like we're all in high school and like this group of friends you have to make it work with. Like, you don't need these people in your life. And honestly, like, I know it sounds traumatic, but like family's so important. Grandparents are so precious. Like, your grandfather wins here. And the name isn't even bad. It's actually a cute name. Like Scooter.
So cute.
This is going to end up being a blessing. Anyone in your life who has one fucking thing to say about this, good day, sir.
That's really crazy that they would have an opinion on that. I would recommend to them to get a life and they can have opinions on their own lives.
Loser, lamer, wanna be like, oh, totally. Get out of here. Scram.
Loser.
Me and Cooter will like ride off into the sunset.
How about
like,
that?
You should do this the next time somebody makes fun of it.
Loser, loser, double loser. As if whatever.
Get the picture done. Yeah. Bye. That's our show. That's also our week. This is our final episode until Monday. Yeah. As the Jewish New Year begins this evening, and Jackie and I will be celebrating separately, which is obviously devastating, but
it's what it is.
We are survivors.
Chag Sameach, Turt.
Happy holidays to everyone celebrating. If you're not celebrating, we'll miss you. And enjoy work. That sucks.
We'll miss you.
Yeah, and you'll miss us.
Yeah, we will miss you, and we'll be back on Monday with some swirlitude for you. And if you're missing us, it's the time to join Patreon. Patreon.com/thetoast. Over 300 episodes, over 7 years, body of work that spans 7 years of toasted
body
content.
of work.
It's a body of work.
That's our show, y'all. Thank you so much for listening to The Toast, the Millennial Morning Show, where we deliver the fast 5 stories that you need to know every Monday through Friday. So if you're watching this on YouTube, please feel free to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. We're also available as a podcast anywhere podcasts can be found. So that's Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, Public Radio, iHeartRadio, CastBox, all the places. So wherever you listen to podcasts, find us, The Toast. Leave a 5-star review about how beautiful, stunning, and wickedly talented we are.
Love ya. Bye.